What's up, everybody? This is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioner's Clubhouse from the LCC Network for the fourth off-season episode here for us. This is our Valentine's and Super Bowl special. It's crazy, like the NFL season now bumps into Valentine's Day and really kind of the NBA All-Star game and everything too, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, so we got a pretty cool episode for you guys. It's probably going to be shorter than some of their other ones, but definitely still a good one nonetheless. And with me today, I have got Jordan back on the show. What's going on, man?
Hey everybody, good to be back on this. I guess we'll call it the All-Star Super Valentine show.
It's got everything this week. If you're a sports fan, you got college basketball, NBA, NFL. Um,
No baseball though. Still waiting for baseball
we
to
got
get
like one more
back.
week, I think, for college baseball. I think we got one more week, maybe two at the most. And then college baseball is back. But college softball is back as of today.
Yeah, yeah. Go Tigers.
Go Gamecocks. Go Lady Cox. Um, yeah, so, uh, yeah, so anyways, let's dive into this, Jordan. First off, just a friendly reminder to everyone out there. March 1st is March 4th is the deadline to pay for the 22 season. If you do not, if there's one thing we're strict on in this league, it's the payment deadline. If you miss it, I'm sorry. That's it. You get bumped in to the developmental league, and then we're gonna move someone up from there, assuming you still want to play. But
And
yeah,
that's 3 Fridays from tomorrow.
3 more Fridays. If you get paid weekly, you got 3 paychecks to save up $40. I guess if you're in, well, I almost said Conference A, but we just changed the conference name. So if you're in former Conference A, it's like $10 extra, so it's like 50 because of the Pro Bowl. But yeah, make sure regardless. If you haven't been saving up, if you're the type of person that needs to save up, make sure you're doing it. Um, if not, then obviously you don't have anything to worry about. But anyways, just a friendly reminder there. March 4th is the payment deadline. Make sure you get that money in. Also, if you pay, you could technically pay today. If you and a friend pay today, you can go ahead and start making trades for this year too if you want. The moment you
Yeah,
pay,
somebody
you're eligible to make trades.
go ahead and get your dues in tomorrow. Hit my line with the sweetest trade you got. And let's roll. Like
Jordan
off season
said,
begins.
if if you dial 1-800 Jordan now, you can receive a free trade. No,
Exactly.
but yeah. So make sure you guys do that. But let's kick it. Let's start it with our 2022 fantasy Valentine. I have a sound drop for this. Our fantasy Valentine, brought to you by Patrick and Jordan.
So sensual.
So,
So sensual.
all right, Jordan, you want to kick us off with your fantasy Valentine?
Yeah, do I talk sensual the whole time? No. All right, so let's my 2022. So this is for the upcoming season. My Valentine player that I'm in love with, and I would love to have on my team or anybody's team for that matter. I'm gonna go with an elite position and I'm going to say quarterback Justin Fields for the Chicago Bears this upcoming season. I know he was a letdown after a few owners gave him a shot last year. Didn't quite get the starts we expected at first. Didn't put up the numbers we expected after that. But with a new coaching staff, I believe that they will focus on retooling their offensive line and giving Justin Fields the best opportunity to succeed. They hire Matt Eberflus. He's a defensive guy, but what I really like is they brought in Luke Getzey as their offensive coordinator. He's coming over from the Packers. For the last 3 years, he's been the quarterback coach and a pass game coordinator. And even going back before that, he's been with Green Bay probably for about total 8 9 years. So he's got an offensive mind behind him, and he's been working with Rodgers, and I'm looking for him to bring a little of those same kind of concepts to Justin Fields, who has the tools to be great. And on top of all the playbook stuff, when it all breaks down, what makes fantasy quarterbacks great is the rushing ability, and we all know Justin has that. So when it all ties together, I'd say I'm really in love with Justin, and he's got a few good targets. Like Darnell Mooney's a name to watch. Just in general, I feel like he could be a big play receiver for Justin. He's got running backs, Montgomery. I'm blanking on the other back that was doing well last year, Patrick. But
Um,
um,
yeah, I can't think of it right now either, honestly.
but yeah, either way, I think all it takes is getting the offensive line fixed, and you have a QB1 in Justin Fields.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think a big part of Chicago's woes was the coaching issues there, and
Agreed.
now that that's cleared up, and I think you could even maybe argue some of that for Trevor Lawrence. Although I think it's I like Trey or not I almost said Trey Fields. Justin Fields a lot more his situation, the team he's on, versus Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is just on a really it wasn't just the coach, but the team itself was just so bad. But
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so let's
And
go ahead and move.
so, who's your sweetheart?
My sweetheart had a QB rating of 97.3 on the year. And that's only because he played in like 3 games the entire season. But Trey Lance, I kind of almost gave it away earlier, is my fantasy Valentine.
Trey Fields.
Trey Fields, Trey Lance, which whatever you want to call him. The 49ers went deep into the playoffs this year with Jimmy G at quarterback. And the 49ers have historically done really well with scrambling quarterbacks or quarterbacks who can extend the play by scrambling out of the pocket. They may not get a lot of rushing yards, but they have that ability with their legs to extend the play and give their receivers time to get the ball. But look at Steve Young, Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith. Not that I'm saying Trey Lance is an ex Hall of Famer like Steve Young, but shoot, if those guys can do it, I think Trey Lance can, especially with a healthy Deebo Samuel. Like Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, they had some decent receivers, but I think Deebo might be one of the better receivers we've seen in San Fran in the past 15 years or so. So yeah, I think that Trey has the weapons there. They've got a good running game. I expect him to be integrated into that running game to some degree, which means rushing yards there. We saw him. He never broke 100 yards rushing in the 3 games that he did play, but he did have a game where he had 89 rushing yards. I think the biggest thing for Trey is he's got to work on that completion percentage. There's only one game where it was above like 55% or so, roughly that. And it was like the last game that he started in. So I think Trey has a bright future, and I fully expect Trey Lance to go as either the first overall waiver pick this year or in the top 3. Worst case scenario for Trey Lance in our fantasy league. I think you look at the Spurs and Cameron's team. He's got the first waiver wire pick. Tom Brady just retired. He needs a QB. Why not go get a guy like Trey Lance who has a high upside? You think of guys who you didn't see a lot of in their rookie year, but ended up being great. Pat Mahomes is one. Lamar Jackson is another. Who else? Josh Allen didn't even have a good rookie year, honestly. So there are plenty of guys where you didn't see a lot of them, or that first year wasn't totally great, but that second year they really turned it on and became kind of the face of that franchise. I think Trey Lance has an opportunity in 2022 to do that.
Yeah, I really like that pick from you as well. Mostly to do with the offensive system that he's in that you discussed. I just feel like it's really conducive for a quarterback to have a really easy time of things, especially if they're skilled. Like we said, they went to the NFC title with Jimmy G, and he's the ultimate just kind of like getting by quarterback. No, I'm a little disappointed that they wouldn't think Trey Lance was ready like towards the end of this year, but I guess just trusting a rookie quarterback going in the playoffs is a little risky. But just if you think he's got that much skill, I would think at some point after week 8 or 9, you would think he would give you a little better shot than Jimmy G. But apparently they never agreed on that, so we never saw him. But with a full off season in that offense, I think he can do big things, especially adding in the legs, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
89 yards is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, exactly. And I think his biggest threat, honestly, you know, Pat Mahomes actually doesn't get a lot of rushing yards, but his ability to
Yeah,
extend the play makes him very deadly. Lamar Jackson will get a lot of rushing yards, but I think Trey Lance could be kind of like an in between guy almost, probably leaning more towards Lamar
yeah.
versus Pat, but in terms of the way he
And
is in the pocket.
an honorable mention on this Valentine stuff, just because I'm thinking of the offense that Trey Lance is in. I really liked the Dolphins bringing in Mike McDaniel as
Hmm.
their head coach, and I feel like that offense is going to be brought there, and it's going to be really conducive to help Tua uh, not make as many mistakes and get hit less. And so there's another quarterback that might become available at some point.
Yeah, I agree. I think do not shy away from Tua in 2022. If I got my hands on him, I'd be happy, honestly. I like Tua a lot. But yeah, let's move to our next segment here. Our favorite moments of the 2021 season. So this is just kind of like, this is fantasy related, pro football related in general. Um, it's just like a mixed bag of stuff, and so we'll just kind of run through a couple, and I'm sure we'll just like add some that we think of as we go. And I'm sure you guys listening, uh, there's gonna be some that we probably don't even think of. Like, oh man, that
Oh,
was
there's
kind
going to
of
be a
fun or
ton.
funny. Yeah, there were a lot of funny moments happening, especially in the group chat. Honestly, over the past year. But Jordan, you brought this up, the bidding war over Austin Eckler between Cody and I, where it was like we were literally countering each other over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite moments, and it wasn't even had to do anything with a game, but both of you decided you really needed a top-notch running back. I don't even remember who pulled the trigger first, but I just remember being at Matt's house and we were discussing it, and then the group chat started going crazy. Um, and then it was literally one of you guys would make the trade for Eckler, and it wouldn't take more than 20 minutes for a counter to come through,
Oh
and it
yeah,
happened a good 6 or 7 times,
it
and like
was.
we, we were sitting there laughing, just knowing how like deep Cody was into his phone trying to rip like trades off, but it was a good time, and the chat was really active that night, so everybody was getting in on like side trade talks and things like that. So
Yeah,
one of the more memorable and fun moments of the year
yeah. I remember
for me.
like there were so many counters sent to Will, who's the GM of Once a Janitor, that he eventually at the end he was like, "Dude, I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go with his. I can't
Yeah,
play this game anymore."
he was like, no more counters, bro.
He was like
I
physically
can't take
exhausted.
anymore.
I didn't even know that was possible, but we did it, Cody and I. And looking back, I still think it was worth the price for me, at least, because now I don't even have a running back. So, yes, I would have paid probably even more than that for Eckler, even now.
Yeah, it just took baby steps to get to the final deal. It's like placing bids on eBay or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Uh, One of the things I thought of, this past season in 2021, this is the first time we've done a in-person draft combining, you know, pretty much the majority of the league in a very long time. Like, I mean, you can say like, yeah, we had in-person drafts before 2020, and it was divided by conferences because we had 2 player pools in one league. Um, but it had been, God, I'm trying to think, man. It was probably like 2016, maybe the last time Jordan I saw you at a fantasy draft. Like, it had legitimately
Yeah.
been like almost 7 years or something crazy. Well, not 7, but it had been like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I was finally glad we got to do it, and we had a few people not show, but for the most part, there were a good amount of people there. And I think, besides me, like it might have dragged on a little towards the end, but for the most part, I feel like everybody enjoyed that again, seeing everybody, and we had some good pizza, courtesy
Mm-hmm.
Cody. We all threw in on the wings, or I believe we got the boneless, so
Yeah, we
we
did.
basically all threw on the nuggets.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it was a good time, man. Like even we're we were being hosted at Matt's, so we didn't pay for that. Beer was there. People were hitting their vapes and stuff. I thought we were having a great time. Like
Yeah, it was
it was just fun being around everybody again and getting to chat about football.
yeah, and that was my first
uh,
time seeing Matt's gym. Honestly, like I didn't realize, I didn't even know it
yeah,
was out there in Woodruff like that, um, and how much space he had.
yeah. Shout out to Mr. Nuge for leaving the beer for the children.
That's right. Do you guys? Does he still have that in his fridge?
Oh no, like he had to get rid of that, man. He's got
Okay.
like
I
40
was.
kids running around there every day.
I was wondering what he ever did with that.
It was just funny. Like that could be a memorable moment too. He texted me one day and he's like, all the little kids come up to me. He was like, "Whose beer's in the fridge?"
That's so great. All the parents are thinking Matt's just getting wasted, like
Yeah.
after work or before
All right,
class.
we gotta cancel this membership.
Oh my god! I think it was like, was it a 24 pack or something crazy like that too? Like,
Something like that. Shout out Hub City Martial Arts. Anyone needs martial arts needs.
martial arts and
Met.
beer.
Yeah,
It's a
there you go.
martial art brewery.
Whatever
Not really.
gets you to stay.
Yeah. No, thanks, Matt, again for letting us host the draft. And speaking of which, here pretty soon we actually have the voting and stuff for the draft location and stuff. Actually, now that I said that, I'm gonna pull it up, the deadlines and stuff. Just make sure I didn't forget to mention that at the beginning of the show. Let's see. Off-season schedule, February. Hall of Fame. Okay, so the deadline to make draft day location suggestions is February 20th. So we got 10 more days until then, and then voting will open the following day on the 21st. So make sure, if you got anywhere you want, whether it's Bank of America Stadium, whether it's Hub City Martial Arts, assuming Matt's still good with it, or if it's at your own place or wherever. If you got a cool idea, put it in there, so that way we can vote on it. Of course, it's
Yes.
not necessarily mandatory that people show up, although trust me, you are missing, like, I would argue, like, at least 50% of the fun of this league is draft day, being there. It's so much more fun hanging out with everyone, seeing everyone in person. Like,
And there's less likelihood of us getting hung up on like a pick.
God, yeah, man. Like, we saw it, like, the handful of people who had to draft remotely, like, oh man, it it ate up a lot of time, honestly. So, and just the technical difficulties
Yeah.
too. it's better if we have everyone in one location, honestly.
Yeah, I'd be down for a sticker board draft.
For real, honestly, if we got everyone there, I would screw using the computer at all. Like, I would love to bring back the old paper board with the stickers and throwing up there. I remember one year Cody stayed up till like 4 a.m. or maybe stayed up all night, and he made us
Yeah,
a
he
draft
did.
board. I remember you and I went out and bought the supplies from like Michaels, and he would literally put
He
that thing
put in
together.
crazy work that night. I think it may have affected his draft, but
It may have.
that might have been the first year he won a title. So there you go.
I think that was 2012, if I remember right. Crazy.
Man,
It was a long time ago. It was like 10 years ago, literally.
hmm,
Throwback. Another moment that I thought of was, and this is more just, me being a Panthers fan and watching football, seeing Cam Newton come back to Carolina, the nostalgic piece to it. And I'm not one of those Cam Newton fan over Panther fandom type persons. Those people exist, and I don't understand them. I don't know how you can watch sports that way. You just follow one athlete instead of a team. But um, no, just seeing him back was really cool. I don't get me wrong. I know he didn't play great, honestly. He was pretty mediocre at best at times. But just seeing him back, man, that energy that he brings to the team, it's a lot of fun to see.
yeah, that was fun. Didn't quite work out in the win column, but I was ecstatic to see Cam come back, and I'm still glad we did it. We might not have won a lot, but I feel like it mended some relationships that needed to be mended.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I'm pumped. I'm still waiting for my I'm back T-shirt.
And then our
But
other one
about
was
how about another one? I don't know if this one is the next one up on your list, but I mentioned it. We all gotta throw our hands up as non-Patriot fans. The legend Tom Brady is finally
that's right.
retired.
That's right. Although Jordan, I've got to say this too, man. It's really weird not having him in the league, or it's gonna be weird.
Oh yeah, it is. That I feel like that was the last line of like all the childhood quarterbacks that I remember. Like
Yeah,
Roethlisberger just left. Like we just lost Rivers and Eli and Breed. Like that was the last one. All these other ones, I'm pretty much older or at the same age.
yeah. I mean, honestly, we're older than most of these guys now, which is crazy. Um,
Yeah,
dude,
we're probably definitely older than Joe Burrow, and he's playing for Super Bowl Sunday.
it's almost like when Thanos gets killed in the Avengers, and you hate him obviously for what happens throughout the series, but when he dies, you're like, man, now what? Like, who do I hate
Yeah,
now? Like, like I don't know. Like, it's almost like me being a Gamecock fan, and like I despise Clemson, obviously, um, but I don't know if I would ever want Clemson to cease to exist because half of the fun of being a Gamecock fan is hating Clemson almost, and I'm sure it's the same as a Clemson fan. Like part of that fandom is you learn to love to hate South Carolina. You know what I mean? So if you eliminate that, the villain in it all, then it's like I don't know. It takes away a little bit of the fun.
yeah, we hate y'all too.
Yeah, I figured. I figured it was mutual. Another moment though was the tank war between Big Os, Mafali, Jameson. Um, I feel like, and when I say tank war, there were other teams who did bad, and you could kind of argue, well, I think that person may have done that intentionally, but these guys actively like traded away talent to get picks. Is what I mean by that. And Jameson ended up still making the playoffs by the end of it all. And at one point, he was for sure he was going to get a top 3 pick. Now he's going to have like the 20th pick in the draft or something crazy. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, he's going to draft really
yeah.
late.
I don't know if Jameson really knew how to tank. Like he starts selling his team, and then the guy makes a playoff run. Like,
It goes deep at that. Beat
yeah,
Cody,
like,
then beat me, and then lost to Cameron in the conference championship.
but we'll we'll see who the first teams are to take that approach in this new upcoming season because every year it happens, and hopefully Jameson is a lesson that sometimes it's definitely too early.
Oh, definitely. I first of all, I do not believe it is ever worth tanking. If you go back and look at past champions, I would majority of them did not have an early draft pick, believe it or not. And in the years where you had keepers in the previous year, you know they were typically teams who had talent that they were bringing over from the previous year. If you trade away all your talent, and sure you have picks, but this is a keeper league. This isn't a redraft where you're going to get a I'm gonna say Alvin Kamara. that's not gonna transfer over well this
Yeah,
year. But like for example, like a healthy Christian McCaffrey, for example, like you're never gonna see him in the draft pool. Not at least when he's 100% and at the prime of his career.
yeah,
So I think that tanking intentionally, I think it really hurts, honest to God, in the long run. I think it's better to at least try. I mean, sure, trading for picks is one thing, but to get rid of everything you've got, I just think it's a risky move. It is a risky move.
yeah. I agree. We'll see if there's more awareness to try to just be as competitive as possible next season. But we'll have our tankers.
Oh yeah, they'll always be there. And I only have like two more things on my list, Jordan. But so if you have anything, feel free to just interrupt me. But one of
No,
mine,
you're good.
this is a short and sweet one. Me winning a third straight division title. Yeah, I.
Yep, definitely didn't want to remember that.
Oh man, no, dude.
This is supposed to be fun for the group. No.
No, it's it was pretty cool. Like just doing that. But honestly, it didn't make a difference. I lost to a team who had a losing record in the regular season, so that means nothing. Honest to God. So, but the other one, this one is actually applicable to the entire league. Uh, our league starting its second podcast, LCC After Dark, which is
Yeah,
turns out to be more of like a regular season show versus off season, which is fine. But having that was interesting. It added different angles and analysis to the league during the regular season, which was kind of fun. And um, having different personalities and stuff on the LCC network as a whole is cool. And having a presence on Spotify through LCC After Dark is great as well. Um, man, if anyone ever
yeah. Well,
wants to help
I'd
out
like
with
to
these
get the regular
things,
LCC on there.
yeah, it's I was almost like I'm not gonna nope I'm not gonna do it. Anyways, long story short, there is a
No, you're
big surprise that we'll be announcing in the coming weeks. But that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to ruin it for everyone, but it'll be really cool. I think people are gonna enjoy it. Um, there was something else
Yeah,
though.
let's just move on. Let them forget it. Let them
Yeah, let him
forget it.
forget. Live and forget. No, but one thing I did want to mention was, the prospect. At the end of the 2021 season, we had the prospect of, creating a developmental league and, in a sense, kind of expanding the league's presence, but realistically creating like an active wait list to join the LCC, and so that people didn't have to just kind of sit and wait because over the years, like we've always had turnover, but it seems like sometimes there's years where we have less turnover, especially when we've done a really good job of like bringing in good people, which I feel like we did a really good job of last year. In fact, we had to replace a guy draft day, like literally replace someone, and it ended up being
Yeah,
bringing in Will, and I think was a great addition. He's super active in the chat and stuff, and a lot of fun.
yeah. That was probably for the best, anyways.
Yeah, Michael. Um, he definitely he has some strong friendships in the league with some guys, but he just wasn't really good for our type of fantasy league. Like, it's one
Yeah.
thing to play fantasy football, set your lineup, and play basically from September through November, but uh, and this type of league, it literally just never stops. So you got to find a
He
certain
never
type of someone to fit.
he never even texted me, so like I don't even think he realized we replaced him.
It's all right. I mean, if he didn't even realize we replaced him, it's probably for the best for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, if he went to log in one day and it didn't work, he never texted me about it. Like,
Yeah. Siri thought I was talking to her. But anyways,
mind your business.
shut up. Yeah, no, that was really cool. I mean, I think what I was really trying to get at there is creating more opportunities for people to help at LCC After Dark, the Commissioner's Clubhouse and et cetera, and other things like, as we get more people kind of in the league through the semi-pro league, I think we can get people to have like certain roles, like even if it's like a super small type thing, like someone just tweets out the final scores for all the fantasy games, on Monday or Sunday night or something like that. Like someone maybe like writes like an article like once a month on the LCC and puts it on the league website or something.
Someone gives the commissioners a back rub or
Yeah,
whatever on a
exactly.
Tuesday
Yeah.
evening.
God, a back rub sounds so good right now. If someone could do that for me, that'd be great. I'll give you my first round pick for a back rub. I'd do it. Jordan, you want to like just like I don't know, just like get on my back and like massage it for me. Just put all your weight on there.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, we gotta move on after that.
I just pictured you like a cat. You know when a cat like gets on a piece of furniture, it starts like doing his paws like
Yeah, making dough.
yeah, kneading the dough. Um, no, that's all I've got for in terms of like just cool, fun memories from 2021. Do you have anything else, Jordan?
Yeah. No, that's about it. Like we said, if anybody else wants to bring anything up, leave it in the comments or talk about it in the Discord.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's now you said Discord. That was actually a cool moment. I think we were a lot of us were very resistant to it. I'll be the first to admit. And for me, it wasn't the biggest thing was like, good lord, man, like getting everyone in here. Like, I mean, if you think we didn't get Charles in the Discord until like months after we started it, like.
Yeah.
So I knew it was gonna be like herding cats. I was like, I just didn't want to deal with all that. Because I had
I'm
already
still
like
shaking my fist at it.
I think it's been like kind of cool in terms of it definitely it adds more organization I think, and there's some fun things in there. Like we can create custom emojis and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah. So anyways, it was a fun year, man. 2021, honestly, out of the since 2010. So how many years is that? Is that 12 years? 12. Yeah, if
Yeah.
12 years if you include 2010. Um, that probably is up there in terms of one of my favorite fantasy years of all time. That was a blast. Not just from like competing, I had a good year, but I enjoyed it even without that. It was just nice having other people take on more responsibilities, and one point Zach volunteered to tweet out a lot of the off-season waiver wire stuff, which was cool. Like I just sat back and watched it happen. That was kind of fun for once.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if anyone
He
ever
was
wants
doing
to,
a good job with that.
yeah, he did a great job. If anyone wants to volunteer for anything at all, maybe if you want to create your own role and something that you think would just be fun to do, man, just let us know. Like, I'm 9 times out of 10, we're probably gonna be okay with it as long as it's not something that's gonna like offend people or something, over the top. But yeah, I think
Over the top.
I don't even know what that would be honestly, but because we already kind of are over
No
the top.
Nazis.
No,
No,
yeah, that's true.
no Nazis.
We do not allow Nazis in our league. I'm sorry to everyone out there who might be one. I don't think we have any listening, but hopefully not.
You ain't welcome here.
You ain't welcome. Get out. Yeah, that's all we got though. This is kind of a shorter episode.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, we'll catch y'all next week. Next week is going to be really fun. In fact, we're creeping up here. Not January, good God. February 14th, in 4 days, the LCC player contract info will be released to the league. And that means we'll be covering that information on our next podcast. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about some
Yeah,
other
so
stuff then,
that'll
too.
actually be a informative next week's episode.
Yes, definitely. And then a week after that is the deadline to get your draft day location stuff in there. Also, like, we'll be voting on the day of the draft as well, which will decide the day of the semi-pro draft, which, depending on when we do it, if we do it the weekend before the NFL season starts, and that means obviously their draft will be the weekend before ours. If we do it the weekend before that, it could fall under either weekend for the semi-pro league. So, anyways, I'm
Yeah.
getting ahead of myself, but we got that coming up.
We don't have to dive into anything. But who's your Super Bowl winner?
Oh, I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna skip that part. And for me, I think I'm pulling for the Bengals, but I think the Rams are gonna win it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams as well. I don't see their defensive line getting blocked. Uh, and I think that'll be the difference in the game.
Yeah, I agree. And you got a better
And I
defense
mean, I
overall.
would everybody nobody really likes LA, but I genuinely would like to see Matt Stafford get a ring.
Matt Stafford definitely deserves a ring for sure. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like he's been putting, especially in a fantasy league, he's been putting up elite fantasy numbers for years. He was stuck in Detroit.
yeah, that was a big part of it, man. It's just a garbage organization to be a part of, unfortunately for
Yeah,
him. But
yeah. But I guess
yeah,
that wraps us up.
that does. We'll catch you guys next week after the NFL season officially ends, um, and we'll see y'all then.
Peace.
If you want to crown them, then crown their.
I was trying to find a good sound drop, but that was not the one. So this is what we're gonna go with.